Let's take a look and see if I can do a quick demonstration about how to make a milling program. So first of all, here's your milling program list of commands. And these are all just things that as I was developing my milling ops plan, I found that I did. And so I made a command for each of those. Okay, so I'm going to move this down just a little more if I can. So I found that sometimes I had to fast travel, so I had to set fast travel. And sometimes I had to power cut, so I can set my mode to power cut. And sometimes I selected a 5 millimeter, a 10 millimeter, a 15, a 20, or a 25 millimeter cutter. So I need to set the cutter size. I reset 0. I traveled to a certain spot in the X direction, and I traveled to a certain spot in the Y direction. But in addition, I did a manual travel in X and a manual travel in Y. And I did rotate part to a certain angle plus and minus. And I set my speeds. And then there were two other things on here. I did a record progress of measure and capture. And I'm not going to worry about those ones for right now. So those were the things as I set my plan that I saw that I did. And I wrote a code for each one of those. When I want to set fast travel, that's a command SM1. And when I want to set my mode for powered cut, that's SM2. And I can type that in over here on my code list. So I see on my milling op, the very first thing from as found, I set my fast travel, SM1, fast travel on. Ooh, travel to the center. Well, I don't know where that is. So that's a manual travel. So that's TTMX and TTMY. And you don't have to put these comments in, but I find that when I have to debug a program, they're really useful. So I just did this first thing. As found, fast travel to center. SM1 turns my fast travel on. TTMX, I just came down here. What is travel X manual? Travel Y manual. And I'm doing it in fast travel. Then it said to 0 the head. Reset 0. RZ0. RZ0. Re0 the head. And then what do I do? Choose my 25 millimeter cutter. See that right over here? And I just blew it. Let's see, I need to bring these ones back to the front. So choose a 25 mil set cutter 25 SC5 SC set cutter number 5 25 millimeter cutter. Turn on the power to cut the hole. Okay, so that's set mode to power cut SM2 SM2 cut hole. And then it says turn off power, enter fast travel mode. That's SM1 fast travel on. So that is my code for this. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I'm able to write code. And these are things that are very easy for us to program into a little Arduino or Raspberry Pi or 3D printer. They're similar to G code, but not the same. They're similar, but not the same as G code. But all of these functions are in G code, which runs CNC machining. So let's come over here, and I have to come to number 2 now, and I'll do a little bit of this one just to show you. I'm going to bring this back to the top, trying to get this so that you can see everything. It's really hard, I know. But now I'm going to fast travel. So I'm in fast travel. That's good. And I'm going to fast travel to x of 0. Well, I'm already on x of 0, so I don't have to travel there. I have to travel y to minus 2.4241. Fast travel. I'm in fast travel. Travel to y. Okay, TTY, and then an underscore. And now I have to put in my y dimension. Minus 2.424. And it just has 3 decimal places. Fast travel y. Okay, then it says to start my cutter. Start cutter, powered cut SM2. SM2, start cutter. And then what do I do? Now I'm going to cut in the X direction to minus 2.5. And I'm staying the same in my Y. So I'm going to cut in the X direction. TTX. TTX, that's right over here. Underscore, this is my syntax, I have to write it. Minus 2.500. Cut minus X. And then it says cut in the plus direction. TTX underscore plus 2.500. And that's cut in the plus X direction. And when I'm done with that, I'm supposed to turn off my power, enter fast travel mode. SM1. I'm already getting the hang of this. So my 2 operations turned into 12 lines of code, but that's not too bad. Now I'd go on to my next one and my next one and my next one. And I'm just going to keep using these commands in this format. And go by what my milling ops were. Now, this is going to be pretty straightforward. You might have maybe 5 to 10 per page, so maybe 50 to 60 or 70 lines of code. When I do a G code on a 3D printer, often it has 5,000, 10,000, even 20,000 lines of code, but it's got a program that writes its code for you. And most CNC machines do too. But this is, I think, very instructive that you can learn what the codes mean, how to apply them, and every code that is written by a computer usually has a person that has to check it and add little things and subtract little things that the computer programmer never thought about, but that you know about. All right, so there you go. That is how you write your milling program. Here is the command list. This should cover all the commands that you need. I believe it will cover all the commands that you need for this. There are more fancy commands we could add, but this should do it. If you do need a new command, let me know, and we'll see whether we either need to fix your program or add a command. There we go. That is how to use the milling program list to create a milling program from your milling ops plan that you made last week.